Hello everyone and welcome back to Keeping Up with Ken. My name is McKenna and I am an incoming freshman at Stanford University majoring in computer science. And I am so excited to help you all make your college list today. If you don't know me, my senior year of high school, I was fortunate enough to get into every college I applied to. But before I got into all of those schools, I had to research them and decide to apply to them. This is my first video in my Ace the App series where I'm going to take you through the college application process step by step, all the way from standardized tests to how to pay for college. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe so you can keep up with this series and my college journey. It is so important to be well informed and thorough in your research of colleges. In this video, I will show you what factors you should consider, how to compare and contrast colleges, and ultimately make your final list of colleges to apply to. Be sure to watch through this whole video. It contains a lot of super important information that helped me through the process. And if you stay to the end, you can get a preview of the next video that I'll have coming up in this series. The first question I usually get asked is, where do I even start with this whole process? And the number one thing I always tell students to begin with is not getting your heart set on a dream school. I was completely guilty of this. Stanford was my dream school, but there was a 95% chance I wasn't going to get into Stanford. It was not a good mindset to have going into this process of getting my heart set on a specific school when there are thousands of schools out there that could have been perfect matches for me, just like Stanford. This rule goes for any college that is really difficult to go into, especially Ivies and top colleges. The second thing I tell students is to think of your end goal. What do you really want to get out of your college experience? What do you want to do after you graduate college? Do you want to go to grad school or do you want to enter the workforce? These are important questions that you should keep in mind for later in this video. Now, the fun part, making a spreadsheet. I am a big fan of spreadsheets. I use them to organize just about everything in my life, but especially colleges. I use spreadsheets from my sophomore year all the way to the end of my senior year to organize everything, college, summer program, scholarship, you name it. They are so useful, and I'm going to show you today how you can organize your entire college search process in one spreadsheet. Alright, so to start off, you're going to want to go to Google Sheets, and you're going to want to start a brand new spreadsheet. You can title it whatever you want. I would title it Your Name, Colleges. So in the first column of your spreadsheet, you're going to want to have it titled Colleges. So this will be where you place all of the potential colleges you're looking at. Then in the next couple columns, you're going to want to choose 3 different majors, 1 different minor, and have another section called concentrations/clubs of interest that you can organize other potential things at those colleges that you might be interested in. If you're still wanting to look into potential majors for college, you can go to bigfuture.collegeboard.org/majors-careers. This will take you to a wide list of college majors and careers that go with them. You should be using your current interests as a guide for what potential majors you'd want to have in college. For me, my 3 majors were computer science, mechanical engineering, and business. My potential minor was entrepreneurship or business, and my clubs of interest usually aligned with robotics. When you're looking to add schools to your list that fit your potential interests, you want to make sure that you're not paying too hard of attention to specific websites' rankings. That's not necessarily true. They're all opinions, and in general, what really matters is what you feel the school can give to you, not what somebody else says its ranking is for computer science. I really did not like to look at rankings when I was going through this process, but they are helpful if you're truly looking for schools that are strong in your major. The next section that we're moving on to, the next couple columns, those are going to be school features. This means the size of the student body, the type of school it is, if it's liberal arts, if it's a research institution, the average class size, the sports division that it's in, and the campus feeling, which is usually a harder one to fill in, but if you end up visiting a school, it's a really good section to have so you can make note of the feelings that you initially got when you visited that school. It is also important to note the acceptance rate at that school, along with the average GPA of accepted students and the average ACT and SAT score. You can find that information on individual school websites or on websites like Niche or US News. You can also find that information on the common data set that will break down the GPA test scores and applicant profile portion. I'll get into the applicant profile a little bit later in this video. The next section we're looking at is the environmental factors. So, major location in the United States. Is it in the West? Is it in the East? Is it in the South? Is it Midwest? Then we have location setting, which is it rural, suburban, urban? Then we also have the campus size. Is it a really large campus? Is it a very small campus? And then another factor that I really love to include is the dorms. Are the dorms nice? How would you rate the dorms if you've ever been able to visit them? Do students like the dorms? Do you have a housing guarantee for 4 years on that campus? That is probably the most important thing to consider when you're considering a school is, are you going to have to move off campus and find your own housing as a student at that institution? And the last and most important little section you're going to put in is the financial fit factors. This means the type of financial aid it's giving out. Is it giving out need-based aid? Is it merit-based aid? Is it a combination of both? Are loans included in the financial aid package? And if so, how much? Does it have need-blind or need-aware admissions? This is a super important factor for anybody who's applying for financial aid, and especially for international students. Make sure that the schools that you're applying to, if you're applying for financial aid, are need blind. Otherwise, your ability to pay for the school is a part of your admissions process. If you are interested in seeing my paying for college video soon, be sure to comment your interest below. Say, I want to see the paying for college video. If you have any other video ideas that you want to see me make, please comment that below too. I'm running out of ideas, please. Be sure to think about which of those factors you value least versus value most in a college. No two factors are the same, and no two factors are necessarily weighted the same. After you use those different factors to build your college list, it's time to start narrowing your list down. You'll want a final list of about 8 to 12 colleges. You can start narrowing down colleges through your individual applicant profile. This means your statistics, your ACT score, your SAT score, your GPA, and other things that are more numbers-based, the quantitative data. Though applications are not completely quantitative data, this is a super useful piece of the process to understand where you fit amongst the admitted applicants. The best tool to use for this is the common data set. It will present you with all the applicant data, and it will show you the percentage of applicants with your stats that were admitted to the college. You can find it by looking up X school common data set. Every school in the United States is required to have a common data set. A balanced list will consist of about 2 to 3 safety schools that have high acceptance rates. This means from 100% about down to 65%. And you'll be fitting within or well beyond their middle 50% of admitted students. This means GPA and SAT, ACT scores. You'll also want about 3 to 4 target schools. This means schools that are between 65% and 30% acceptance rate. You'll also want to make sure that your personal stats fit into the statistics of admitted applicants at those schools as well. And finally, you'll want about 2 to 3 reach schools on your list. This means schools with acceptance rates 30% and below. If you're not in the test score range for these schools, that makes them qualify as further reaches. That even goes for target schools. The final cut you should make of schools on your list is those that don't fit your most important factors and those that do not have good financial fit. If you will likely need to take out a lot of loans to attend a certain school, meaning more than $5,000 a year, or are planning on relying heavily on outside scholarships that you have not yet acquired to attend that school, those should move down or off your list. If you would like a fancy version of the spreadsheet I described to you today, be sure to check the description, it's right below, and give this video a like. And I will see you next video when I help you start applying to those colleges.